What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out, and you tune into another edition of Prison Talk. I'm here with Bud John Phoenix, and we've been kicking a little game about what's going on with the prison system, because a lot of you guys ask a lot of pertinent questions, and this man has some great insight on what's happening right now with the system.
Thank you, always. So just the topic of discussion is, how did prison get started in the first place? Okay, well, once slavery was abolished, supposedly abolished, because who really won? How many monuments are over there that they're still there? And I'm gonna ask you a question. These men that are so strongly convicted in how they believe today, 200, 150 years ago, do you think they were gonna lose? They were gonna die. They were gonna give up everything. They didn't care. So these guys cut them a deal. They wanted their re-election. They wanted everything. They wanted it to be over. So they cut them a deal. So they said, we're gonna abolish slavery. We're gonna tell the whole world. But if you arrest them, you can do what you want. But we're gonna say it's over. So it was over, boom. Whoever could got the hell out of there. And whoever didn't.
So that was the start of the Jim Crow laws, correct?
That is where it led to. After it was rebuilt.
The vagrancy laws and all this stuff.
Exactly, right after it was rebuilt. Because what they did is they said, hey, you're jaywalking, 20 years. Hey, loitering, 20 years. And when they would sentence them, free people, they would say 20 years, hard labor. You are now property of the state. And the prison owners, they found a way. And they said, we're gonna rebuild the whole South like this. So they arrested everyone. So no one was free anymore because they had a clause. And the clause is, if you arrest them, you can do anything you want. Like now, like a guy in Missouri gets arrested for some weed, gets 20 years, and he's making, tables for some store for free? Why taxpayers pay them? You can have them pay, the taxpayers pay for them to live here on your property. They'll work for you, do anything you want, and if they don't, you know what you do? You put them on C status. You put them in the hole. Everything their family sent them, you send it home, and if they don't have money to do it, you throw it away. And that'll learn, and that'll teach them that if you don't work and do as you're told, you'll be punished. And that's the mentality that they want us to have. It could be a 7-foot dude, 400 pounds, tatted everywhere. Scariest guy you ever seen. 4-foot guy with the badge comes in, goes like this, turn around, bend over. And that's what they want us to think, that we're below them. And don't think it's, the cops, that they're trained like this. Don't think it's just them. Law enforcement are enforcing the laws that are there. Even if it's some stupid ass shit that they don't want to do, they're gonna enforce it. So when they tell them to do that, it could be the coolest guy in the whole world. Brass comes in, suits come in. They'll demolish you like that because that's their job. That is their job. And this is what we want to stop this clause, because if you take out this clause, you'll stop prison because they can't make profit on us. They're sending people from California to other states so they can make money. You know how much they're making for each person? I mean, $30,000. $30,000 for each person to throw them in a box.
And what do you think would happen if they allocated that money towards educational programs or trade programs as far as creating a labor force on the street? How do you think that would affect recidivism?
The thing is that this is their moneymaker. Over, 2 million people incarcerated? 2 million? That's 60 billion a year. And then don't forget about what they're giving all the officers that have to watch us, especially CDC, It is what it is. It's a rough job. They give it to them. You got to do what you got to do. But taxpayers, they pay all the benefits, and they're the biggest union there is. And it's, and that's their livelihood. So they're doing their job, and it is what it is. But it's the people that are truly profiting off this.
So you say that in your words, in your interpretation, you don't think they want people to actually learn skills that'll keep them from coming back. They prefer people to want to come to prison and repeat the cycle.
I mean, okay. If they want to help someone, if a guy gets caught with a few times of crack, it's like, you know what? Hey, we have a problem and we have to stop it. No, they don't want to stop it. They flood the streets with it, and everyone gets life. And now all these guys are in there. Their whole all their kids are all screwed up. They don't care. We are just numbers. We're like cattle. We are ants to keep their world moving. And what we have to do is we have to realize things, take a step back and be conscious of what is occurring right now. If they take out the clause in the 13th Amendment, which ends slavery completely without saying unless you arrest them, they're not going to have a business. They're not going to have slaves, for one thing. So if you're sitting in your cell and they say, hey, come sweep this while you're watching a TV show, you can say, no, you're already holding me here. Mm-hmm. I'm just watching my show. You either sweep this shit or I'm taking you to the hole and taking all your shit. It is a power thing. Like they try to break you at times. And it's just, these are the laws that they write. So this is how it is. And you have to maintain, because you got to realize, we're convicts to them, especially in there, we are convicts. We are criminals, we are crooks, we cannot be, they do not respect us. But we have a certain amount of courtesy for one another. We have a certain amount of courtesy, and that's what it is. If it was up to the government, their soldiers here, they're just regular dudes. They would snitch on everyone. That's their job, to snitch on every single person you come in contact with. That's what the government wants them to do. And most of these guys aren't fucking dicks or punks like that. They're normal people that assess crime. But if it was up to the government, they would be cameras. But what they are trained to do is break us. Contraband watch. So on contraband watch, take all your clothes, put you in a different shirt, different boxers, 2 different boxers, socks, shackle, waistband, all the way, feet, and then they tape you up, arms, legs, socks, and they leave you there for 72 hours. And you either shit on yourself or you shit in the bucket while they're all watching you. You have 72 hours. And and the thing is, you have to, and that's happened to me 4 times. And the thing is, you have to maintain your emotions at all times.
So basically, you have to maintain your sanity while they're trying to execute, a dehumanization type of situation.
Yeah, but it's legal. It's legal. That's the thing. It's legal. They have up to 72 hours to do that. If it's legal, they can do it because that's the law. But you have to remember one thing. Always remember this. Whoever's in power is going to write laws that benefit them. So the rich people lobby laws to Congress. Congress passes them, which incriminate minorities and poor people, putting them in jail, stopping the voting, keeping their job, keeping their business going. And that's how it works. Everything is set up to stop us from advancing. Because once it really turns, they're never going to get it back, and they know it. Because it's the same mentality. Think about it. When somebody from another neighborhood moves into a neighborhood, and that person isn't like the same person that's everyone else around, the other people begin to get threatened. And then another person moves in and they get more threatened. And now they attempt to prevent it. And that's what they're doing now because they don't want us where they're at. They want to maintain power. And if they maintain power, we stay slaves. Population control, yes. Voting control, yes. Recycling us into the system. Just get them a drug case, get them a number. Get them a drug case, get them a number. You'll never vote. You'll never vote. You'll never vote. And that's how easy it is. And it's for crap. Crap that's legal in California, but they're getting life sentences other places. You have to vote. That's what it is. And they're stopping us from doing that. Like, guy from Wilmington, right? They formed the Short Corridor Committee. And what they did is they organized a hunger strike. And, you know, I went for over 2 weeks. They went for like 2 months, man. So many people died. So many people died.
And where was this at?
This is in California state prisons.
But no media covered this.
This is what it took. 30,000 of us, 30,000 of us did it at once. Gabriel Huerta, him and the Short Corridor Committee, they organized this. He has learned 6 languages so he can communicate with other countries to let them know what's going on. He has degrees after degrees after degrees in college. His wife is a Democratic seat holder of Los Angeles County, Irene Huerta. And she herself, 2 weeks in a cage across the street from Pelican Bay State Prison, sat there and starved. For 2 weeks, she hunger strike with other mothers, with other children. And it wasn't until people just kept dying that they paid attention. That they paid attention. And they just looked at it. And as soon as they looked at it, guess what? Unconstitutional. And they let everyone out. Everyone. And here's what happened. Once everyone was out, there were people that have been down for 30, they kept them in those boxes, okay, for 30 years. You know how many people killed themselves? There were thousands of them. Killed themselves. They told them, you either snitch right now or snitch. I don't give a fuck if you make something up. Snitch, or you're gonna fucking die in here. People were killing themselves left and right. 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, solitary confinement, no human contact. Maybe a voice, no human contact. They kept them in these cages and now they let them out. And here's what happened. Everyone got together and there's a universal peace treaty in California. Universal, everything is going peaceful. Everyone's fighting against what's wrong. So guess what? All the guys that couldn't hang and went over there and the other ones that didn't kill themselves and everyone else, they're telling them, get your redemption. Be strong. Show them what prison's really like. So what do? They get all the people that were in protective custody and now they flood the main line with them because they want war. And what happens? All these guys, they're going for theirs and they're taking off on mainliners. But when they write it up, they put these guys as the victims. And that's the system. They're just trying to stop it because if we're focusing on each other, we can't focus on them.
So this is the whole purpose behind the SNY integration?
That's exactly what it is. Why didn't they do it before? Why would they never do this before until there's a peace treaty? And now they bring out these guys that want action, that want redemption. And they're throwing them out there. Why would you have someone in protective custody back on the main line? I mean, there's a reason everyone that you separated them yourselves.
To begin with.
Yes. There's a reason everyone that you did that. And now that you're putting them there, you're seeing what's occurring. And what's happening is everyone's fighting again. So all the legal battles, they're slowed down. All the protests, they're halted. Because everyone's being assaulted. You know? And that's what they want. You know, but they want to keep these people in there. You have to, you know, if someone totally rehabilitates their entire life, college education changes everything. You got to let these people out. I know a kid, right? Omar Regal Ramirez. Look him up. National champion soccer, MVP, the whole country. Somebody gets killed. He doesn't tell on him. He's 15 years old. They give him life for conspiracy. Jose Alfredo Santana, He stole a phone. They gave him over 20 years. They put a gang enhancement. 2 years for the phone, 20 years for the gang enhancement. You know, like, that's what they do. For 10 years straight, they had a gang injunction out here in LA, where even if he's your brother, your blood brother, and they say you're in the same gang, they put you in jail for a year. Let me tell you why. 60 grand, that's why. 60 grand. Hey, let me house this guy here, feed him, do whatever, here's 30, boom. It's on the state, don't worry about it. They gotta keep these things filled to keep it going.
Yeah. They need the best space occupied.
They are arresting everyone for anything. And it is all about control. And how do we stop it? The clause in the 13th Amendment, that shouldn't be there. And I'm going to tell you why it's there. Because they won. If you don't think those same people are in power right now, please look again. Who is running the country right now? Who is in complete control? Ask yourself who won that. Who's the slave? That's where we're at.
Kicking some real game for you guys. This is Big Herc, and this is Prison Talk.